The fire started on the 9th, and that was a Saturday.
Early Saturday morning, we got a page that there was a smoke report west of Stove Prairie School.
We all go to the lookout towers on the Buckhorn Mountain.
You could see the plume of smoke from the top of the hill up here once you got around at the right angle, but we couldn't really figure out how to access it.
So they had to come back out and go down and get to the fire.
So we got there still early morning Saturday, and we started fighting the fire, and it's in a meadow, much like this, with trees at the edge. It was a few acres at that point. You start anchoring the fire and putting in fire line, and the next thing you know, the wind takes it, it's in the trees, and it starts going to heck in a handbasket pretty quickly.
Within 5 hours, it grew from 2 acres to more than 3,000 acres, and it continues to grow.
By that time, we had called in for mutual aid from Loveland, Poudre Fire Authority, Wellington, Poudre Canyon.
Well, I was requested by the Larimer County Sheriff's Department to come up and help them with structure protection.
It was pretty quickly obvious as we started to head in the afternoon and it started running away from us, there's really no other way to describe it, that we needed to transfer into evacuation mode. And so we spent Saturday afternoon getting people out of the way.
It's really scary, but we made it just in time.
At about 8 o'clock in the evening, it was moving through Stratton Park with a very large fire front. And we were predicting it might be into Poudre Park the next morning. It was in Poudre Park just as over the ridge in 3 hours.
All of a sudden, this hillside converged in fire, this hillside converged in fire, and basically fire marched down this mountain at an incredible pace into our community.
And I called 911, identified who I was, and asked for her to issue a reverse 911 immediate evacuation of Poudre Park.
People were in imminent danger. They were in their beds, in their homes, unaware of the fire behavior. So that immediate evacuation was the first line of defense. We didn't lose a single life in this canyon, and we're really proud of that.
They were obviously by themselves at that point. We helped them evacuate everybody and try to get as much help to them as we could that night, but pretty much Poudre Canyon was taking care of themselves.
These guys did not have wildland gear or fire shelters, and half a dozen of them raced into a burning community to help with evacuations. I was actually really impressed with the Sheriff's Office.
We were working real closely with Rist Canyon volunteers and the Poudre Canyon volunteers, and also our volunteers at Station 11, which is in Redstone Canyon. Those guys did a great job, and I can't take my hat off enough to them because they, with their residences and their communities threatened, they never dropped the ball.
Every resource they had available was deployed elsewhere on the fire.
Sunday, we came over here to Stove Prairie and we wanted to make sure that the school, I always talk about it as the heart of this community, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't, nothing was going to happen to it. We watched this school all day Sunday. We watched fires burn up around us. You can see the scorched hillside behind me. That fire that had burned around through Poudre Canyon came back at us from the north. This hill over here burned all day Sunday. And my hill over here didn't burn until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I took a series of photographs late in the afternoon, time stamping when my house was gone.
Fire officials are doing everything in their power to get this fire under control.
A lot of good firefighters up there. We're just trying to keep them safe as they're trying to protect their neighborhoods. So.
We're all volunteers. We all do day jobs, and we're not 20-year-old hotshots. And it's really great to have those kind of crews around, and they did an enormous job. So we were really glad to have them.
It was a fire that was fought with people from all across the country, fire departments, sheriff's departments, state agencies, federal agencies, any kind of government agency that fights fire. And we probably had somebody here helping us with that fire.
It was amazing how the community outpouring, not only the local firefighters, but also the ones that came in nationally. They said, wow, this is unheard of to have this many people lining the roads when they come back into fire camp.
We were at the Estes Park Wool Market, and we got notification from the county around 1:30 in the morning that there was an issue in this area. So we started calling other breeders that would help us move the alpacas in case of fires. And by the time we got down to Ted's place, we had 8 other breeders show up with their trailers. And we all showed up about the same time. It was just a few minutes after 3. We had over 140 alpacas and llamas out by 5 o'clock in the morning on their way to the fairgrounds. They just opened up the doors and helped us get them get them all set up in the different stalls. They provided food. There was restaurants that brought food over every day. The Red Cross was there. It was unbelievable how people came together and really helped everybody.
I'll be darned, I get halfway down the driveway. I saw that one of the cabins had burned down, but my one neighbor's, Tom's house was there. You know, Sue and Dwayne's house was there, my house was there. I lost 2 sheds, so right as I drove up to the house, I saw the 2 burned down sheds. But then I came around the corner, I saw the house, and it was a code word we were using on the radio because one guy had just said it. He was one of the first guys that had gone in and seen his house back up in here. And all he said on the radio was happy dance.
If you talked about worst case scenario, this is our worst case scenario.
In less than 48 hours, an estimated 20,000 acres burned.
Because there's nothing left, absolutely nothing. I expect that that's possible, I expect that that can happen, but you never think it's going to happen to your own place.
But sitting right in the middle of that fire was a little tin cup, a red cup, and everything else around it is destroyed. I mean, absolutely just destroyed. That little cup is sitting right there in the middle and just had a few ashes in the middle of it. My wife and I say that's some kind of an omen.
We were at the Disaster Recovery Center the entire time, the whole 3 weeks that it was open. We talked to more than 500 individuals there and provided information on soil erosion control and how to replace your important papers or how to get smoke smell out of your house.
You know, this is only a short-term impact, it's very, very long-term. And there's going to be a lot of rebuilding, and people have to stand up and help their neighbors. And we're neighbors to everybody, so we need to help them stand up and help them too.
I'm gonna cry now. On the day everybody got to move, that Thursday, almost 3 weeks in, when everybody got to come home, even the people that you knew they had lost their house, they would honk and wave, they would get out, they would come and hug us because we were stationed around to help people. And I am gonna cry. You know, we worked incredibly hard physically, emotionally. A lot of us, you know, pushed ourselves pretty hard, and to have that kind of support from the community really helps to heal. And I hope that that's true for everybody else in the community as well.